Couple of names on this list that could change things for the San Diego Padres big time going forward. Here are the non-roster invitees that will be showing up to spring training just about a week out from now. What's going on, everybody? I'm Christian Pedersen, back with another episode of Padres Digest. Got to talk to you guys all this installation about the non-roster players being invited to spring training, and specifically, I got 5 things I want to talk about. We're going to get to all of that and more, but before we get there, I got to remind you guys, since you are most likely new to this channel, the season is right around the corner, and that means tons of opportunities for Padres Digest videos to be brought to you on the daily, giving you all the updates, reaction, and breakdown that you need all season long to be a Friar faithful. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, though. Smash it now, smash it often, unless that unsubscribes. Then don't do that. Just subscribe. Look, let's talk some baseball. We've got a couple of different things I want to go through here. Number one is let's just talk about the total landscape here of what we're looking at. The San Diego Padres have some holes still in a roster because you ultimately need depth at every position, and they don't have that, but they have started to fill it with Connor Joe and Jason Hayward and other major league options. So what we are looking at here is no longer super necessary to fill like active positions, and more can be the 24th, 25th guy on a roster or the first guy in waiting for when something fails. That being said, the 2 main guys to watch for are Ethan Salas, our catching prospect, 18 years old. He is the number 33 overall prospect in baseball right now. Salas, I think, represents a next generation of catching, and I don't think that 18, I don't want to be that naysayer and be like, oh, I need some maturity, I need some age, youth can't do it. Sure, totally want to always believe that we can capture lightning in a bottle and always have all of the young rookies come out, win Rookie of the Year, be great right away. Sometimes it takes maturity, but Padres go out, sign some veteran catching this offseason, and I wouldn't hate it if this guy got the chance to be on the opening day roster, get some experience, let Elias Diaz do the main catching, let Campusano be the fan favorite, clubhouse favorite, vibes guy, and carry Ethan Salas as a third catcher, platoon DH, to get him some hacks here and there, pinch hittery, just kind of other guy. I think that as a 18-year-old catcher, if he's got opportunity and potential, let's start to get it from him. But let's give it to him in a safe, we don't need to throw him straight into you're going to hit 8th, you're going to be our guy. I think we can give him a year of maybe 10, 15 starts, some late inning defensive substitutions, some situational switching from a lefty to a righty kind of guy, let him be the refresher, let him bounce up and down a couple times, but I think the more major league experience we can get for him, the better. That being said, let's go back to the list. There are a bunch of other catchers. There will be a bunch of other interesting options. Martin Maldonado is a more veteran player. Look, we could go in a million different directions. I don't pretend to be the number one guy in terms of knowing, roster construction and say that my ideas are always the best. Sometimes my ideas are a little crazy, but I do like the opportunity for, if you're talking about the last guys to trim out a roster, unless you have just oh my gosh, we are so stacked, why not fill it out with youthful exuberance, inexperience? It has its ups and downs, but I like the chance of hey, if we're already going to have to try something different this year to beat the Dodgers, if we're going to be playing ultimately for second place in the regular season, but just need to make it there, just need to get the vibes so that we can get 4 out of 7 in that NLCS and go on to the World Series and prove that we are the best team in baseball. I think that the Padres could benefit from some youth, some 18 to 20 vibes, energy, just sort of enthusiasm, bringing around, the last couple numbers of the clubhouse. Into the infielder position, second thing that we all got to get to know and talk about is Leo Dallas DeVries, you'll see him here. He is an infielder. He is the number 18 overall current prospect in baseball and represents a switch hitter, young infield prospect, which is as blank and awesome of a slate as you could want. I don't know if the Padres ultimately have a spot, but I would say that this would be another guy that, to me, let's watch really intently and closely what spring can bring. Maybe it's going to end up being between him and Salas. For one of the two of them will make it up. I think that these two are the main guys where I'm like, if we can see more than just like flashes of like little extended streaks of it, of the potential that they've got at the major league level in spring training, I say give them a shot to fill out that roster. I think that as the number 18 overall prospect in baseball, right here, we have a great opportunity to stick somebody in as the ultimate, like if Manny and Xander need days off, so Cronenworth switches and this, that, like if there's just, we need a guy to be in the infield, hit ninth, take some good swings, or be a pinch hit DH sort of situation, why not have a switch hitting young guy who can take a couple of major league at bats, figure out if he's right for this, or then we can always go back to Martin Maldonado. We can always go back to some of these more veteran guys. So I am currently of the belief, let's roll with these two as some of the main, if not the main guys that we are watching on this list of non-roster invitees to spring training. Third thing that I look at here, I hinted at it before, the veteran leadership, Martin Maldonado. There's a couple of guys at the other end of the spectrum, and I look at that going, yeah, of course, there's always some of that. Great, cool, whatever. Some of these names don't excite me at all. The 4 and 5 on my list all have to do with pitching. I don't have it broken down here between starting and relief pitching, but just know that most of this is relievers and or long men indistinguishably, kind of could be a starter, could be a bullpen guy. And that is, number 4 is who is there. Number 5 is that worries me. And I think that it does kind of concern me that I see a drop-off starting pitching-wise. Padres 1 through 3 with Darvish, Cease, King. That is spot on. That is a great part of that rotation. 4 and 5 are going to be, there's a couple of Matt Waldron types that are going to duke it out. There's like 4 or 5 guys competing for 2 slots there, but there's always going to be some rotation there. Who's hot, who's not, who's got a tweaked, oblique, ... Like, there's no way that we go with our set 5 all the way through. Is like Joe Musgrove's going to get healthy again. Like there's going to be change happening. So you're going to need a couple of those guys. But past that, it's kind of a drop-off of like, I don't see a ton of names here that excite me. And I go, oh, bang, 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 those X, Y, and Z pitchers are going to be like delivering us some much-needed relief on the pitching front. So I do think that the Padres have to come to terms with either we need to put together a trade package to go out there and get, but I do not know if the Padres ownership is in that mindset yet. Right now, we're just happy to be signing $1 million Jason Haywards, not saying they're going to go out and make some splash with some cash on the pitching front, but we got to either say, hey, we need to target something and go get something, or we got to be real that innings 5, 6, 7 are not necessarily nailed down and are now becoming the pressing issue for the Padres to address, with hypothetically the left field DH and bench depth now taken care of after adding guys like Salas and DeVries. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comment section if you like going young with these guys, or if you like going more veteran, or if you don't want anybody on this list and you want us to go out and get something else. And as I said at the start, make sure that you subscribe. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.